Shall we start?
Yes, start. It's on.
Inshallah, we need to concentrate today more than usual. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Today's subject may seem to be a subject that we know, oneness of God, but of course when we go into the details, it is not that simple. Not only to understand is not that simple, but to see the difference between oneness of God, a one creator, and fardiyya in Arabic, singleness of God. The main problem we see especially in this century, but goes back as well, but now it is slowly creeping into the Muslim world as well, believing in the Creator, but not really being aware what we mean by the Creator. No, the Creator must be one, yeah, must be one. What does it mean for you? So this question is crucial. How can we understand that God is one, but what it is? So they say, okay, there is a creator, but this creator, how am I going to understand it? And in my worship, what will I really mean when I say I worship one God? So the main, the reason was some brothers and sisters wanted to understand the oneness of God without falling into, technically speaking, pantheism, which is very common. But when someone say, no, we don't, okay, you may not know the name, but we may be really practicing pantheism without naming it or without really describing it exactly what it is. So the subject is difficult in its detail. Otherwise, in itself is not difficult, but in its detail it is difficult to make the difference. So we know that there is no creator but He. The problem is, who is He? By saying the name Allah, it doesn't help anything. What do you mean by He? Equally valid question, what do you mean by Allah? No, this is a little bit question. So if you please interact and try to say what you understood and try to say what you didn't understand without any hesitation, I will appreciate it. So interaction is really necessary to discuss this matter. Not difficult, as I tell. I'm not going to speak something very difficult, but when we pay attention to the details, we have to be careful. Maybe ready to change our minds as well if we didn't know. So again, another reminder, do not bring your previous knowledge into this discussion. Forget about them. And don't say, oh, we know that God is one. God, religion, our religion is Islam, and Islam is the religion of Tawheed. So that's one God, that's it. We don't say three gods, we say only one God. What is one God? Who's that one God? It's not that easy. So slowly we will develop. I don't think we will finish the subject today, but we will be careful and patient. So do not, of course, you have what you have so far, but don't defend your previous understanding. Don't defend it. Be open. Be open to criticize it, to evaluate it, reevaluate it. Be open. Here are the principles that we have to remember. There is a very essential difference between reading the Quran for two different purposes. So one is to establish the belief system introduced in the Quran. The second one is, I'm sure you are very much familiar with this, to establish the juridical rules taught in the Quran. You are very much familiar with it. You are immersed with many books and talks which teach you how to really extract juridical rules from the Quran. So when we look at the Quran, in order to establish or extract the juridical rulings from the Quran, our type of reading will be completely different from when we try to establish the belief system taught in the Quran. So you may not, I don't know this, but we have to pay attention to this difference because the Quran includes both. Quran teaches the belief system to the people, to us, how we should believe, and at the same time, Quran gives us guidance for regulations of our daily life. So do this, don't do that, etc. Whatever happens in our daily life, all the transactions. But depending on your intention, your way of reading the Quran will change. That may be new for you. I don't know whether you are ever thought of it or taught that there is a difference in reading the Quran. So the first one, to establish the belief system taught in the Quran. Now, if we want to fulfill this purpose, it means to establish my belief system, the creation. We keep saying this, which is the act of the Creator to reveal Himself to conscious beings, human beings, is to be taken as witness to the truthfulness of the news of the Quran. For example, we receive that God says, I am the creator in the Quran. God speaks, all right, said, I am the creator of you, for example. I created you. I said, okay, but what the Quran says, but don't take it for granted that I believe in the Quran. Whatever he says is true. But you are not a puppet, are you? So he says, I created you. Okay, if you created me, let me see. Really, do I need a creator? Who is my creator? How can I identify him? How can I know him? How can I be sure of this reality? There are many people in the world say, we just developed. Eh? Why do they say so? So how can I prefer what I read from the Quran to what the scientists say? Those people who study, they say, we studied you, how you are in this world, how you came to this world, and we found out that there is no need to ascribe your creation to any creator. You just happen to be a living being developed throughout the history. So one of them is the scientist who study how I am growing. The other one is a person who lived 1400 years ago and said that this is the news I received from God, and he says, I created you, so you must believe in it. If you don't believe in it, you will go to hell. What shall I do? I'm in dilemma now. One of them is a scientist, the other one just says, it is so. In this, within these circumstances, when the Quran says, I created you, O human beings, so we have to follow this. The creation must be taken as witness to the truthfulness of the news of the Quran. Creation must be the witness first. So I will read the Quran and he says, I created you. I will say, okay, this text says this, but let me see. How can I verify the news? Yeah? Can you verify the news? And who created you? Go back to your creation and say, who's making me? I don't see anybody. So how can I verify this? I have to go to the creation, investigate it. But the scientists do the same thing, yes? Yes? They will go and investigate. Now I'll go and investigate my own creation now, and I will analyze it. Right? And he will analyze it as well, and we will see which one is true. But I cannot come up with the idea that, no, scientist, you are wrong. Why? Because my sacred book says, God created me. They will laugh at you. They will laugh at you. How do you know? Who said this? How can you prove it? I'm studying here. This is wrong. I have to go to the creation myself, and I have to look at the creation and investigate it, analyze it. What can be my creator? Or am I really created? Really? Am I really coming into existence? Or what? What is happening in my becoming or in my coming into existence? So if the scientists tell me that I investigated your creation in the lab, that you are not created, or you came into existence by accident, or the many accidents follow with each other, and you happen to be like this, I wouldn't say, but the Quran says no. I would say, okay, I'm going to the same source, the same creation. Let me see, how do you interpret this event? That I know that I'm growing as well, you are growing, that I was a baby, I grew, and getting old enough, ready to go, to leave, to depart so from this world. So I'm growing. I am looking at the same source as you are looking. At the end, I will say, oh, I am looking at my own coming into existence, or whatever happens in my being, or whatever happens in the beings in the creation. I would say, you said this is happening accidentally, to the scientist or to any person who takes the evidence from the creation. You said this happened accidentally. I say, yes, it is happening, but I cannot explain this happening as a result of accident. How do you interpret it as an accident? This is your personal interpretation. So when I come up with an evidence from the creation, I challenge him. Otherwise, I will be fallen into a ridiculous position saying that my Sacredus says so. Because it is the matter of belief. Belief needs to be confirmed. Right. But, okay, I investigated, I questioned, I got my evidences from creation, from the world, etc. I am convinced that what the Quran is saying is true, and really there is a creator. I am sure of his existence, etc. I'm convinced. Now, okay, I see my own existence as created by one. Now today's subject is a single being and a single individual being, absolute but single individual being, created me deliberately as a result of his choice, his will. I'm convinced about it. So what am I expected to do now? And he says, pray. He says, give to charity, etc. So do this, don't tell, I don't eat, drink alcohol, etc. Oh, how can I learn the rules of my life, my behavior, my etiquette? Then look at the same source again. Now, the second rule is to be implemented or applied here. The reader, to establish the juridical rules taught in the Quran, so the readers are expected to confirm them by using the evidence in the creation, including their human qualities, but these verses are to be given the priority. In the first one, creation is to be given the priority. Now these verses are given the priority, and then they need to be confirmed under the witnessing of a creation, including human capacities. Did you get the difference? One, I would say, whether alcohol is prohibited or not, I read that alcohol is prohibited. But my creator says, after going through the first stage. After going through the first stage. Now, when I come to the second stage, I shift my priority. So I take the Quran as my guidance. It says, do not tell lie. Do not steal. I say, but the Quran says, do not steal. So I shouldn't steal. Then I take this rule and then give the priority to the Quranic rule, and then go look for the reasons to confirm its truthfulness. To confirm how. Is it really? Use the creation as your evidence, use your human qualities as your evidence. Is telling a lie really bad that my creator doesn't want it? Is gambling really bad that my creator doesn't want it? So look for the evidence outside, but give priority to the verses. What is the importance of it? When you give priority to the verses, you study the circumstances. You study the historical background. You study the occasions of revelation, the reasons for revelation. But when you study the Quran for the first purpose, to establish the belief system, you should not go to the occasions of revelation. You should not go to the historical background, because nothing to do with me. Whether I wouldn't benefit from thinking that 1400 years ago the universe was created by God, but today it is not. It will be ridiculous. Whoever created the universe 1400 years ago is the creator of the universe that I'm experiencing now. Why should I go to the history? But here, for the juridical purpose, I have to go and study the historical background. That is the confusion that we fall into mainly so far. That needs, as a principle, to be borne in mind. So any questions so far to clarify the ambiguous, vague points now?
Dr. Ali, I'm not sure if this is very relevant in this context, because when we talked about this before, like for example, not to drink alcohol or any of these things, and I remember that we talked about how it's not the main priority at all to go back to the creation stage and try and figure out what the reasons for this is, because these evidences change every now and then. There are benefits in the drinking of alcohol, and it's not going to be the main reason, but rather the main reason would be that I've established the first one, and then now I believe that this is the word of the Creator. It's a way to show that I acknowledge the fact that He is the owner of the alcohol and not me.
Yeah.
So that we talked about this. So why would I go back again and look for evidence if I've already established the authenticity of the text?
How would you understand what the verse really means? What the verse really means. So making a general conclusion after studying the Quran. But in order to understand what the verse really means, for example, what is throwing the arrows? Yeah, do not gamble. So what does it mean, throwing the arrows? Arrows, you have to understand in its historical context. So it means really attributing the events to chance. And then need to be confirmed under the witnessing of the creation. So do you think that the creator of this universe will, like me, to attribute anything to chance? That's why I interpreted throwing the arrows as attributing the conclusion and result to chance. So I confirmed that, my creator cannot really, or wouldn't like me to attribute any event to chance, because there's no chance. I have to act as God created me. So my creator never leaves anything to chance and doesn't want me also to depend on chance and act on chance. Right? So combination is needed. Combination means you read the text, try to understand the text, all right? And then how am I expected to understand this text? But text is to be taken primarily. And then try to understand not the wisdom of the event. We studied this in the case of slavery. In Islam, slavery is not really eradicated, etc. We said, no. How do you know? Maybe in practice that time didn't. But the Quran says you cannot be superior over anything. You cannot be the king, the Quran says. The creator is the one who has the last word, not you. How can you implement it to another person with an absolute sense? So we said, okay, we hear that slavery is something in the Quran. So I have to go back to the creation. I have to go back to the creation, the witnessing in the creation means how God acts in the universe. So I will choose a way to be in harmony with the things are really glorifying God. I have to join the glorification of the things. Yeah, everything says La ilaha illallah. It means I cannot come into existence without an absolute will. Okay? So I have to come into this world and act in harmony with the rest of the creation as a conscious being. Now, that will be my choice to say there is no creator, there is no deity, but the creator of the whole universe. And join the harmony of the creation or of the glorification made by the creation together. But we need to go through the first stage into the second stage, and when it comes to the jurisprudential or juridical matters, I have to take it and study it within its context, yeah, and then try to see the reason, not necessarily reason to justify it, no, reason within the conditions of the belief system. You know the word, some of you definitely are aware of this word, illah and hikmah. Illah is reason for existence. Hikmah is, wisdom. Yeah, for example, you say, the simple example, traditional example is, why do you fast? Because God wanted me to fast, and you have to understand, why does God want me to fast? Within the conditions of belief system. The wisdom is, when you fast, of course, your body rests, etc. Your habits are questioned there, because you may not be aware what you are choosing. But anytime you remember, you drink and you eat, and you don't really know exactly where you are, who gave you the drink, who is providing the food. When it is deprived of it, you say, these are wisdom. But we are not talking about the wisdom, because wisdom changes. Yeah. But illat, we are talking about the real reason for fasting, which is my Creator wanted me to fast. And I have to understand that. Why does God, my Creator, want me to fast? Now the subject will be taken into belief category, and will be the base of the action must be established on belief system. So why do I fast? Because I need to acknowledge the authority over the things that I continue to consume. Who is the owner? Do I need it? I say, as a created being, as a conscious created being with free will, I need to be reminded. That is a way. I have to join the exaltation of the creation. Everything says, I don't own myself. Okay? For example, tree uses water, but tree doesn't say water is mine. Look at the tree, study the tree, you will see that water is given, provided for me. Okay? Well, as human beings, I have to acknowledge this as well and join the harmony of the exaltation, glorification of the universe. Now, the main purpose is really, excuse me, for human beings to use their free will, as a result of their free will, to join the harmony of the glorification of the universe, and all together say, you, God, the Creator, the single one who gave existence to us, you are absolute. You have no shortcomings, no limitations. You are absolute. You are not of the nature of this universe. I have to join this. But a accustomed way of living needs to be consciously broken. So in order to acknowledge that Anytime I feel thirsty, I drink water. Now I acknowledge the owner of the water. I acknowledge this is belief system.
So in the
Based
second-
established on the belief system, not the wisdom. Don't confuse the wisdom.
Okay, so in the second step, I'm still looking for the illa, not the hikmah.
Go back. But like this circle, if you like, belief system is this will be established through the evidence of creation, and then what am I expected to do physically in this world? Juridical rules. You know, you have to pray 5 times a day, and you have to be nice to people around you. You have to give to charity, etc. Now, when we come to this, we have to say, Quran says give to charity. For example, who can say that you have to give 2.5%, not 3%? Okay? I say, my Creator said 2.5%, but I will look at the core matter. Why should I give some of my, whether 2.3, 2.5, or 3 or 5%, whatever, give it away? Your Creator says, in order to purify yourself and your property. So what does purification mean? Go back to the beginning. Right? What is purification? It means all this dirt, the stain that we attach to the property, saying that this is my property, or I earned it, yeah, I got it, I grew this grass or grain, this is mine, because I dirtied it, I didn't grow, but I claim that I am growing. So purify this. How? Disclaim the ownership over the grain or harvest. You rape. You rape. No. Reap. You reap. Harvest, you reap. Acknowledging that it's not mine. Practically, what am I expected to do when you acknowledge that this grain, this harvest is not mine? When my Creator asks me to give it away, I will give it away. It's not mine. It's not mine. Not because to comfort my consciousness. No, that's hikmah. That is wisdom. That's not illah, the real reason. So it must be, again, fortified, supported by the reasoning you had here. The reason you had here. Why did you believe that you have a Creator? Why did you believe that the universe has a Creator? How were you convinced that the harvest you reap is God's blessing, not your work, or natural, or accidental? So if it is accidental, why should I give it? I am lucky, I got it. You are not lucky, you are poor. Yes? None of my business. But if you are poor, you know, you should be lucky, none of my business. And I have to enjoy my life, because my life is very limited. So if you don't have this base, this belief system, at the base of your actions, again, you are not really doing what you are expected to do. Acting on the foundations of belief. We are not acting there. That's why we have to go back to the belief system and support any juridical rules from belief system and make the harmony together. It is, but usually what we do, we have to pray 5 times a day, and we lose ourselves in the number of the prayers, or the number of the units of the prayers, for example, and the timing. But we have to see why I pray in the morning, why I perform at noon certain prayers, not necessarily 4 rakah, because 4 rakah, 6 rakah is not important. The important is, why do I pray? What is the core of prayer? So what is the core of giving to charity? When you ask this question, what is the core, the real, if you like, reason for you for fasting. When you ask these questions, you have to go back to your belief system. You can give a lot of examples, but unfortunately, what is commonly practiced among the Muslim community, this stage 4, has been taken for granted and never questioned. That's it. I believe I'm created by God. So that's why we don't pay attention to creation. I give this typical example. When you go to a park, for example, are you doing any religious activity? No. I'm just entertaining myself. I'm going to the park. How about when you go to the masjid? Oh, of course, there are masjids. Keep quiet. People are praying. Sacred. Which is sacred? Masjid or the park? I think probably park is more sacred than the masjid. Everything there are glorifying God. And you have to observe it. You have to join them consciously. Yeah? Here, the people are doing some actions. If they are aware of their glorifications, welcome. If they are not aware, they are just prostrating and standing up and bowing, doing some sort of, gymnastics. Of course, we don't know what the people are doing. We are not judging about what they are doing, of course. But we are talking in principle. For example, what makes an action as a prayer? Yeah, your consciousness, your awareness. If you are really aware, you do better actions in the park with the plants, with the animals, yeah, coming out of this earth. We are going to study, inshallah, and see that, look, these are the witnesses to my honor. You'd really observe it there because they speak to you. But in the masjid, if a sheikh is speaking, you hear something, otherwise nothing. So I'm not desacralizing the masjid. Don't misunderstand. But at the same time, why don't we see that, for example, going out to the park can be a means of worship of God? Why don't we understand this? As well as coming to the masjid and praying with the community, all right. But if you don't see God in the park, I doubt it that you will see God in the masjid. It is impossible. It's a big claim, but that's reality. That's reality. After seeing God in the park and joining the symphony of the glorification made by the creatures, you can come and hear, say, Allahu Akbar, with a satisfied heart. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has some sort of belief, of course, and in the heart of their prayer, they have something, but of course the degrees really vary from 0.1 to 99%. Okay. So far, any questions or any matters? No? Bothers you? Nothing? Oh, everything is fine? Everything is clear? Oh, good. Yeah.
So, in the first one, by us trying to confirm ourselves, the creation, I guess what qualifies us to do that?
As a human being, you have to look at yourself. Because you are responsible to come to a conclusion. That as a human being, which fits you better? Now, this is, that is the thing we have to struggle, we have to fight. So you cannot you feel that you are not qualified to analyze the creation. Who is qualified to analyze the creation? God. God. How do you know? It's speaking to you. It's speaking to you. God is speaking to you. And you are expected to respond back to God. It will be your conclusion. Who is qualified? Your father? Your mother? They are qualified for themselves. You are qualified yourself. Because you have to see the evidence. Without seeing the evidence, how can you confirm? Belief is confirmation. Belief is not imitation. But, you know, if the teacher says, very simple example, 5 times 5 makes 25. And without understanding, if you come to your mom and say, Mom, teacher told me 5 times 5 makes 25. But without really, you said, I'm not qualified, I'm not a teacher. So imitating it, mom says, this girl is not going to learn mathematics, I'm sorry. It is not yours. But teacher will tell you 5 times 5 makes 25. You have to say, does it really? If you are convinced, you say, yes, you are qualified, no one else. Everybody is responsible for his or her own belief. Belief cannot be borrowed. Belief cannot be imitated. You know, belief cannot be inherited. Belief is your conclusion. Yeah.
Perhaps you would also give some specific examples of what you mean by analyzing. When you say analyzing, what I think is looking at the tree and thinking about how this, huge tree was once just a little tiny leaf, and it grew into become a thicker branch, and it's holding, when it rains, literally tons of
We
weight
will
on
come
its
there.
head. When I think of analyzing, this is what I think as
Yeah, we will
proof
come
that
there.
there is a creator.
We will come there. But we are now establishing the principle. If someone says, I believe in something, immediately this person is asked, how and why? Bring your evidence. So, because of this and this, I came to the conclusion that really I believe in something. Some people believe in nature, some people believe in accident. Yeah. Yes, some people believe in a God, but this God, does funny things at the same time. Some people believe in God who is absolute. Now today, maybe not today, but in the course of time, if you follow this section, we will come to the conclusion, inshallah, I believe in a God who has a personal, absolute existence, who decided with his absolute will to give me my existence. I am to worship him only. So this goes, while we are going to this end, we have to establish that our evidence can only be taken from the creation. What is the Quran doing? Quran tells me something. I have to go back to the creation, as we are giving the example. We will study how the Quran also directs us to that end, and conclude that yes, this news is really correct. I approve. What I heard from the Quran is really correct. I confirm it. That is the process or procedure we have to follow. That is essential. That must be so. Without bringing or having evidence and convincing yourself, whatever you say, I believe, is baseless. Baseless. So, qualification, maybe you may need this expertise some certain qualification here, juridical rules. So because what are you expected to do here? The verses are to be taken, the verses are to be given the priority. So you have to study the verses. Of course, you have to know the language, you have to know the circumstances, you have to know the social life, you have to know the human capacities, the conditions, etc. But here, everybody is absolutely responsible for his own conclusion. Here you may need some information. So that's why we say, I'm not a mujtahid ruling, coming up with a new ruling. I leave it to an expertise, or an expert. So in here, you can leave a matter to an expert to tell you, right? Because it needs special study. But here, never. The first stage, never. Here you can do that. And afterwards, you have to try to see. For example, you don't know whether you have to pray 3 times a day, 5 times a day, or how to pray. And then you go and ask somebody who knows. Okay. But you have to do it according to your conclusion here. We have to do it according to your conclusion here. It means the spirit of your prayer must be based on your belief system. Yeah, as much as you are aware of your God, the worshipped one, so you are, as much as you are aware that I am the worshipper, as much as we are aware, then my prayer has its spirit, life. Otherwise, it is just body. No, we have to increase that one. That is personal. That's why any matter related to belief is personal requirement, which is called in Arabic al-fard al-ayn. It means individual, personal, compulsory requirement for everybody. Belief here. But when it comes here, it is not fard al-ayn, it is fard al-kifaya. If one of us knows it, enough. So this, to study this subject, maybe professional, maybe. But to study this subject, everybody's compulsory profession. We have to be experts here in belief. Belief system. Yep.
I just have one question. If you're not qualified, then how do you know if somebody is qualified?
Sorry, if you are not qualified?
If you're not qualified, it's not fard ayn, right? So you can go to
Which one is not fard ayn?
like to like look into the judicial rulings. and stuff.
Judicial rules. Yes, I'm not qualified. I follow anybody who says, I studied, for example, and if he's the expert, I follow him. If I found out that he's a fake person, go on for another one. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't, if you are ill, okay, you go and find a doctor. You may find a fake doctor. Yeah? You may. It's possible. So you have to trust as much as you can, but you can't be expert on these judicial rules because you have to study it. You have to really investigate it. You have to go into the details, etc. But what is important for everybody, you can learn how many rakats you have to say during Salat Isha, for example, from another expert. But you cannot learn what to believe. Because your belief is your responsibility. You have to develop it. For you cannot ask me, for example, let's say, oh, this man is an old man and is standing up and speaking in front of us. So, excuse me, my name is Ali. Excuse me, Ali, do I have to believe in the angels? I say, yes, okay, I believe. What does it mean? What does it mean? It's ridiculous. Belief means your confirmation. You have to confirm it. But you can ask me, do you believe in the angels? I say, yes, I believe. What makes you believe in the angels? Tell me that if I'm convinced as well, I will also believe. Yeah? If you are ill, if you need some medical aid, you can go to a doctor and doctor prescribes something to you, even you look at it and you don't understand. I can't read their handwriting. They deliberately do it in the, make it so that not eligible or not, is it called?
Legible.
Legible. Is it right? How do you say? Legible. So make it secret among us, So not everybody knows. So you don't know. What you do? You go to the drugstore and say, "That's what my doctor wrote to me. Please give me." Then they can read it and give something. You don't have to know. You eat it. Yes. But when it comes to belief matters, you can't do that. The belief is personal conviction. So that's the actual rule. If you have more questions, then I'm pleased. Otherwise, I will now go into the subject. Right? How the Quran introduces. Now, the very foundation of the Quranic teaching concerning how to search for the Creator or for the cause of existence. This verse and the following a few verses, I have selected some of them, gives us the clues. Okay, what the Quran says? Would you like to read?
يشركون ما لا يخلق شيئا وهم يخلقون.
Yeah. The English? Okay, okay.
What they associate with him, that which does not create anything while they themselves are being created.
Okay. How can I confirm this? And what does this verse teach me now? You associate with him that which doesn't create anything. The Quran says, they themselves are being created. Look at them. Are they being created or not? It's teaching me now how to confirm, how to base my belief. It's just teaching me, are they being created or not? Some people say no, they are not being created, they are eternal. Some people say, no, this is just, natural things happening. Everybody says, people may say different things. Quran says, okay, they themselves are being created. You have to investigate. How can you confirm this news if you don't confirm it? You have to confirm it. In order to confirm this statement, whether they are being created or not, what do we have to do? What do we have to do to investigate whether they are being created or not? Isn't that the only way? The Quran says, go and look. Are they being created or not? So what is creation? What is to create or to be created? Something is brought into existence while they did not exist. Yeah? That is created. It means created. To create means something that something wasn't here and it has been given existence. Who would like to give an example? Something didn't exist and now exists. And it is brought into existence. It is brought into existence by whom? Or by what? Let's analyze it. Anybody who would like to say anything?
Just an example of something that is created.
Sorry?
Use for an example of something that is created.
Yeah. According to you, what is created? Give me an example and analyze it. Analyze it. What What's creation?
Tumor?
Sorry?
I thought of a tumor.
Tumor is created. Okay. How do you know that it is brought into existence?
It doesn't exist themselves. It's normal, and then there's the abnormal growth.
Normal. Yeah? Okay. That's the problem. If something is normal, do you think it is not created?
No, it's also created.
Sorry?
It's all created. It's
all
something
created.
it's created from something that's also created. So yeah, okay, I get it.
Okay. Good try. Anybody else would like to? Yeah.
This is something, I mean, I heard before, and I was convinced that everything is always in constant movement. And then in any movement or in any motion, there has to be something leaving existence and a new state occurring, whether that be walking, breathing, talking, blinking, any movement, and everything is a movement. The whole universe is always in constant motion, and motion is indicative of new existence coming, present tense, being given new creation, new form.
Reoccurring. Is it right? Reoccurring.
Continuous?
Yeah. Yesterday was created. Today is independently created. So the question is, can yesterday be the cause of existence of today? That we have to investigate. Can, for example, anything, myself, in any matter in my being, be the cause of the next stage in my being?
No.
So you have to question it. That's what the Quran says. You know, everything, you know, for example, let's say the growth of a tree is a normal action. That's the problem, you know. We look for the abnormal things to be created. Normal things as if in our mind, not created, as if. Although we know that they are created in general, but we take it for granted that the sun is rising or the earth is revolving and the seasons follow each other. These are normal actions. When normal actions, we don't think that they are being created. You know, the baby grows. For example, if a baby reaches a year old, 12 months, or some babies are quicker than the others. So 11 months or 12 months old baby starts walking, we say normal. When the baby is 2 years old and is not walking, we say abnormal. So that is, in our mind, creation. But normals are not creation. Can we include the normal actions into creation? Maybe sister's emphasis was on this. They are changing, growing from one stage to another stage. Can one stage be the reason or the cause of the existence of the second stage? It means, can one stage give existence to its second stage? Question that. Can one stage be the reason, the cause to come into existence of the second stage? Look at the second stage, the qualities. Can be the source of, can the stage 1A be the source of the existence of the second stage? For example, tree, yesterday there was no leaf, and now today there is leaf. So the gens are there working with things. Okay, can any stage in the development of the DNA, be the reason for the second step? It means, can for example, the simple example, you wanted to say something? Yep.
Answer. I think no, because even that stage has a stage prior to it that's requiring it to be in that way for the next stage. So you could take it, you can continue to take it back until you have to find something absolute, or else everything will have a precedent before.
So, for example, yesterday's body is making today's body. Can you say that? Today's body is getting old, but they say, okay, let's make this man old. It's enough for him to live in this world. So do they have a conscience? Do they have a program? Do they have knowledge? Do they have power? So we will study all this. That's in the following. So at this stage now, what we will do, we will pay attention to this. The Quran says, you cannot, they themselves are being created, you cannot take the things are themselves being created as the creator. Because they are being created. Be careful about this. Don't fall into this trap. For example, Gen is the reason for something. Gen is being created. But Gen needs to be created. Gen, I say Gen, but this is Jin. Jin. Gene. Okay, thank you. Jinns. Okay. Jinns need to be created. They are made. They have no conscience, they have no free will, they have no knowledge. The Quran says, if you attribute the existence of anything to anything within this universe, think that whether it's created or not, it itself needs to come into existence by another factor. Do you understand? It's a very simple example. For example, when you water the plant, it grows. Right? When you water the plant, it grows. Now, is the water really growing the tree? Or does the water itself need to be created, need to be made? Can it have an independent free will? Now we will discuss all this. We have a lot of subjects, so somebody wants.
Is this growing off of last week's topic of cause and effect being associated that if you say the cells in your body are creating your oldness or the state of turning older, that would be a form of shirk because the cells themselves don't have the free will to go do that. They have their will to turn older is a creation in itself.
They don't have the power. They don't have knowledge. Yeah. So they don't know the future, so that they will adjust the cause. For example, in the mother's womb, a baby grows. The mother can't do anything. No. Mother can't do anything. Well, anything. We can't do anything. That my stomach works. I don't know what's going on. So we will go into it, but at this stage, we will study that. At this stage, we will be careful, as the Quran tells me, and also makes sense, if something itself needs to be brought into existence, needs to be created, cannot say that it is the creator of something, giving existence to something from non-existence. Because it needs to be created itself. So this verse draws my attention. Pay attention to the things going on here. Never ascribe any divine power, the creative power, to things which they themselves are to be created. Yeah.
Are we only talking about objects?
Everything.
So, like if I come up with an idea, can I say I created a new idea?
So, can you really give an existence to any idea or any imagination? Are you the creator or are you the user? You are using the machine, okay? It's already done there, okay? When you use the machine, it's already prepared. Are you using the machine, or are you creating the whatever comes out of the
Are you saying
machine?
like I'm using my brain? That's how I came up with
But
the idea.
who are you and how are you using your brain? Are you giving existence to something or using it? Think about it. You are, as human beings, use the qualities they are given. Can you, for example, make another brain for you, for yourself?
No, but my example is very clear. I came up with an idea for a new
You
invention.
You use the
So-
already given qualities. And these qualities didn't exist yesterday. Today, they need to exist. They are being created. Again, we are using. We have free will only to use, not to create. For example, I have been given 2 eyes, and I'm using the eyes. That's what I can say. I'm seeing, but I'm seeing, but I'm using the given existence. We need to think. This verse tells us, just my intention was bringing this verse, look at the things which need to be created and don't say that they are the creator. They need to be created. That's the point here. That's what I understand from here. Yeah.
I think a great example to kind of drive the point home would be, we always say that the tree grows the fruit, right?
Okay.
Or the job provides for our livelihood or something like that, right? So those are practical examples that we use to kind of say that the tree that is created is creating the fruit. It kind of is a contradiction in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, for example, it's a good example. We will study that. You know, there are many examples in the following slides. Just this verse tells me, be careful about one point. Yep.
So this point is saying the tree grows the fruit. If I were to call, say, my belief in Allah and your faith and belief in Allah to be the fruit which is created, it's kind of
But
saying.
you are using it's Ahab said, you are using the ability given to you and the free will is given to you. You are just consuming them and choosing to decide this way or that way.
But aren't
Yeah.
my abilities to choose also a creation?
Are you really creating, giving existence to another thing, or just you are given? So, for example,
I'm
you're,
just given.
yeah,
So-
you are using it.
So
For-
say
for-
someone who doesn't believe,
Sorry?
someone who doesn't believe,
Yes.
aren't they also given their
The
non-belief?
The ability to deny, to tell the truth, to deny the truth. We are free. But we are not giving existence to anything anew. We have to think about it. But we'll study more. We have 5 more minutes, so another verse, who would like to read it? Natives? Sorry? يخلقون. Again, English? Somebody? Okay.
And those they invoke other than God create nothing, while they themselves are being created.
You see, the Quran is drawing our attention to something, and it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. Shall we talk about it more? You invoke other than God. You invoke other than God means yad'una, dua, making dua. It means you are the one, please give me. For example, what you need? Health. Do you come to me? I know nothing about medicine. You don't make dua to me. Invoke. You don't invoke me. What you invoke? The source that will give you something. All right? So, if you invoke other than God, the creator of the universe, if you go and say that you are the one who you are giving the existence to something, God says no. You are wrong, because they themselves are being created. So it means here we cannot really take anything in the universe as the source of existence of another thing. They are all given. The example given, tree is given, water is given, fruit is given, season is given, heat is given, everything is given, it means created. So if I say, please cloud, send me water, that is what in reality shirk means this. The previous verse said it is shirk. So if you say that clouds are sending the water, if you say, we have to question, can they really be the source of existence of water? Can they? The source of existence of water. They are made. For example, the mother is made to be the mother of the baby. Mother is not creating the baby. Does it make sense? Can we can study further, we will study further, but why I have chosen these verses, because these verses says, if you believe in the Creator, you have to be very careful. You know, where did they get this idea? Because I understood that the other things in the creation, in this world, in this universe, all of them are being created. They need to be created. I need to be made. I'm not making my mind. I am not making my hands. I am not making, I don't know, my eyes and nose and my heart. I am just using because they are given to me. I'm made in this way. I have only free will either to use my hand this way or this way. Either I accept and approve it or neglect it. I'm just using what is given. Okay?
Just going back to the cloud example though, like, are you saying that like clouds, just as an example, are being like in the moment created, or that God has created such an environmental system so that they occur naturally in the system that was already created?
Naturally? What do you mean by naturally?
Oh, like they're like participation or precipitation, you know, like.
Also, what is I cannot, I tried this one, precipitation?
Precipitation and
Precipitation.
like where like the clouds are formed.
Right. Who is giving existence to this environment?
Right, but my question is that this environment has been created
Yeah.
already and it is occurring over and over.
Does it? That's what the sister there. We have to question. We have to
But that-
question.
I know,
Does
that's
it
what I'm
repeat itself
I'm
or given new existence?
That's what I'm asking you.
Sorry?
That's what I'm asking you.
That is it?
That is why she's asking.
Yeah, it is. For example, we are using very simple examples. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you think yesterday's body made me today? Because I'm different from yesterday.
I don't like the body example that I'm getting.
Okay. What else?
So it's like with the clouds or like with weather patterns or whatever,
Okay.
like are you saying that they are in the moment continuously being created, or that
Otherwise, how can you explain the existence of that moment?
I've always just thought of things as a system that has been created and things
Yeah.
affect each other and that's why they
What,
happen.
do they affect? Do they come and, for example,
But like
the bricks of this building, do they really affect the building, or it is made with bricks?
it is made with bricks.
Yeah.
But
So how can they affect? You know what time is? The sister was said something there. Every moment is a new creation, different. But this new creation is taking place within an order.
Yeah.
We call this order normal or natural. We have to be careful. For example, my hands are getting old. Okay, if you don't see me, you will look at my hand. You will say, "This is a 60, 70 years old man's hand." Yeah, because it's a new creation. It didn't happen 20 years ago. Who made it? Every moment is being created, reoccurring again and again, but within an order. What we take, the order is the source of existence. And what the secularist people say, order is the source of existence of the effects. So we question that. The Quran says, go and question. Question it. It means really be careful. Whether are they the one, the order, for example, the atmosphere conditions, are the one who's creating the rain, or this is the way that the creator is creating the rain, which is the source of existence of the rain. Clouds. The Quran says clouds need to be made, and the pressure is needed. Pressure is need to be made, and the weather conditions, cold or warm, whatever, as you go up in the atmosphere, it becomes really cold. So the heat actually, the lack of degree of the heat needs to be created. Heat cannot create itself, can it? Take yourself an example. Can you create anything? Just use what is given to you. If human beings cannot really give existence to something which didn't exist, can the soil molecules do that? Ask the question. Quran says, ask the question. Ask the soil molecules or atoms. Can they really make the, tree through getting together with the, we will study this. Yep.
I think what the sister was saying along the lines of, say somebody made a watch, and once they made the watch, it keeps on ticking and going through its time. They don't make it tick every single time. So if God created the system of precipitation and all that, does he have to make the clouds, rain every single time? Or once he sets that system in motion, can it just continue? I think something along those lines.
So we have to question that. You know why? Is the universe like a watch, or everything is anew? For example, yourself, are you a watch? Like a watch or a clock? So question yourself, any moment you are speaking, you are hearing, you are seeing, within a new universe, you are adapting yourself, you are created within the order of the universe, and every moment the order of the universe is different. Similar, but not exactly the same. Changing. If the universe did not change at all, this mechanical understanding of universe, they say, this mechanical world may be acceptable, but this world is continuously renewed. As any new existence needs a new will, new decision, new power to bring it into existence. Because the universe is sustained into existence. Yesterday's universe is different from today's universe. So we have to think. For example, you are a baby and baby is growing. So baby is growing and taking a new shape. How the cells and biological structure can give an existence to another type of biological structure. We have to think. The Quran says think. You have to think. Whether when I was a baby, I need to be created. When I was a young man, I need to be created again. My babyhood cannot be the source of the existence of my youth. That is why people use the order in the creation, the way the things are brought into existence, as the source of existence. The confusion comes from there. Are we clear? We should not take the order as the source of existence. Order is the way the one brings the things, the universe into existence. That is the way of the creator bringing things into existence. That is order. But order is not the source of existence. We have to be careful, we have to watch, we have to question. This, we will study, we will go into more examples, but the verse says, be careful, do not attribute the existence of anything to something which itself needs to be created. Be careful about this. That's the principle the verse teaches us. The last verse, the time is over.
Can I just have a small comment on the previous verse?
Okay. But yeah, inshallah, we have to stop soon, very soon.
No, it's just that it's occurred to me from what you were saying right now that وَهُمْ يُخْلَقُونَ. يُخْلَقُونَ is فَلَعْ مُضَارَعَ, which means present tense.
Yeah.
Which means they are continuously being created.
Yeah. They are being created, not they are created.
Yeah.
They are being created. The creation, the act of creation is continuing. Actually, the normal translations say they are created. I edit that to emphasize on it. They are being created every moment. We have to understand this. Time is the reoccurrence of the act of creation. We have to think about it because we are used to. Okay, I think we have to go. Let's on the same line, in the same vein. Actually, who is going to read it? This verse quickly. Volunteer, please. Okay.
واتخذوا من دونه آلهة لا يخلقون شيئا وهم يخلقون ولا يملكون لأنفسهم ضرا ولا نفعا ولا يملكون موتا ولا حياة ولا نشورا.
Yeah. The translation, please.
And yet some choose to worship instead of him imaginary deities that cannot create anything while they themselves are being created, and have it not within their power to avert harm from or bring benefit to themselves, and have no power over death, nor over life, nor over resurrection.
For example, my mind. One example is was given before. I say I'm using my mind. My mind is the source of creation. When the tumor, what Sister mentioned there, happens to be, God forbid, inshallah. So in my mind doesn't say, go away, man, I don't want you. So it doesn't have a will. Here are the actually important points. Oh, they are being created and have it not within their power to avert harm from. They cannot really chase the harm from themselves. Yeah, we say the tree, it seems to be the tree is making the fruit. If I cut the tree doesn't have a will, doesn't have power, doesn't have any quality. It says, don't cut me, I'm going to make fruit. You cannot really avert any harm from themselves and bring benefit to themselves. They cannot choose. They have no free will. They have no knowledge and have no power over death or over life. But for example, my brain cannot give me life. It needs life. The previous verse says, they need life. So my brain cannot make any order in my existence. They need to be made in order. Itself is needed. That's what the Quranic reasoning is. Go back to the source and ask. This is the fruit, this is the tree. So Tree gave life. Tree needs itself life. And it cannot be the source of life because it needs life. If I cut it, finish. It cannot reproduce life. It doesn't have the free will. It doesn't have any power. It's a beautiful verse how we should really look at the creation. And look at the creation, go to the lab, study according to the guidance of this verse. You will find that nothing has any quality to reproduce itself. But like human beings, for example, I'm speaking now. You think that I am speaking. By God, I don't know how I'm speaking. Even I don't know, I'm not aware of how to use my tongue and my tooth and my mouth and my whole system and my breathing. I don't know. I am just willing or wanting to speak. And it's created. It's given. I cannot be the creator of my speech. When I am ill, I cannot do anything. It's obvious. It becomes obvious. When I'm dead, you say, you have your tongue. Come on, speak. It means they have no power for resurrection, no power over death, no power over life, anything. They are given. This is the point. We have to pay attention to the quality of the things that we attribute the existence of another thing. It was cause and effect relationship. Look at the cause, apparently, and is it can it be the real cause of existence of its effect? Or it is just an order? This is the order. Order of what? The one who gives existence to the universe gives existence to the universe within this order. And order is created by him, not by my body, by my cell, by the tree. You know, tree is making can you imagine? Tree is making the fruit. So I'm going to make the fruit. The Quran says they are not aware of themselves. Nothing in their power. This is the way of reasoning in the Quran. Inshallah, we will carry on this and we will go into some details. These are the principles today. Inshallah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Shall we stop here? Yes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Al-Fatiha.